Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on some DC news. So with the official or just Superman official trailer looking to hit tomorrow for when this video comes out, there is a lot of excitement as we get closer and closer to the release of the film itself, as well as San Diego Comic-Con in the weeks to follow that, which should showcase some, or hopefully some good first looks at a few upcoming projects in this DC Universe reboot under the creative guise or gaze of James Gunn. We of course have some news and information to go over regarding a few projects in this new DCU, so let's do that. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below what you're looking forward to the most from the stuff we go over, and what are your thoughts on the Superman trailer coming out tomorrow. Let me know, and of course, if you are new to the channel, drop a like, takes 2 seconds. But speaking of trailers, we actually did get a trailer for a DCU project just recently, and that is of course Peacemaker Season 2. Now there had been a few teaser things, like some like 30-second little things, and I think the other one was like, was it 40 or 50 seconds or something popping up. This one, this proper Season 2 trailer, it sort of goes against those teasers, where this trailer does feel much more in line with like the Season 1 tone, like the comedic tone, while some of the teasers gave off a bit of a darker and, well, if you really want to put it that way, serious vibe. But maybe it's going to be a blend, or maybe like a transition somewhere in the season, because there is a lot of talk about, and I don't know if that's the case, where we see like an actual transition from the DCEU within Peacemaker Season 2 into the DCU. That would be interesting. The only thing that sort of goes against like a good transition period there is the fact that Superman comes out before Peacemaker Season 2, and to a degree, Creature Commandos came out at the end of last year. So, you know, in regards to like an entry point, it's like, well, hold on, we're already going to have 2 projects set in the DCU, so can you do that? But this is the only thing, at least in regards to like a concurrent thing going on, that is going between the DCEU over to the DCU. So that's why I think there's a lot of interest in regards to how they handle that, whether it is at some point in maybe the first or second episode, or just literally, you know, the first second in Season 2, which is in the DCU. We'll have to wait and see. But overall, the trailer looks fine. Look, it looks like Peacemaker Season 1, but it does look a bit more expensive. It looks like they actually gave the show a bit more of a budget, which obviously means some better action stuff and everything like that. So I'm interested to see how it goes. I thought Peacemaker Season 1 was like, it would have worked really well on a binge. I thought it was like not a waste of time watching it week to week, but it wasn't really a discussion heavy show going week to week. So I wonder if James Gunn tries to change that with this one. Like, it didn't really have the zeitgeist, if you want to put it, outside of the intro, like the dancing. The story people didn't really care too much about. So hopefully, or maybe Season 2 tries to create like cliffhangers and everything like that going week to week, but we'll wait and see. But speaking of James Gunn, he did say that the next DC film that he is writing is new, not something previously announced. So it's not anything like, you know, Brave and the Bold or anything like that, or I guess Teen Titans and stuff like that. So it's something else. You'd expect this is going to be, seeing it's a film specifically, it's probably one of the larger ones where it feels like the actual guy, you know, the head of like at least the creative side of the studio would be a part of it. So whether this is a team up film or just a Superman sequel or just another big character, you'd assume it's something along those lines, but it is a wait and see. This could be something we get at San Diego Comic-Con a couple of weeks after Superman comes out. Once again, we'll wait and see, but you'd assume at the very least it's one of the bigger projects that would be coming out over the next handful of years. Once again, with James Gunn, this is pretty much all James Gunn related, to be completely honest, but he did say that the Kent farmhouse in, of course, the film of Superman is, quote, converted double-wide trailer, that he wanted Superman's upbringing to reflect more closely to the Missouri farmers he was raised around. So, of course, you know, St. Louis is like the city where I guess like James Gunn like identifies with in regards to like, I guess like a capital city or a major city, but that's the state that he's from. So obviously James Gunn is using a lot of his, you know, personal attachments, whether it's from his childhood or even recent, like with his dog being the inspiration for Crypto and everything like that, for this film of Superman, which I'm fine with. I've seen a lot of people like complain about like a lot of self-insert, but as long as it's just inspiration and he's not literally just like completely adapting, oh, this is just the childhood of James Gunn adapted into a Superman film. Like, as long as it's just an inspiration, it's just like, hey, well, I live this experience, so I think I know what's authentic, or I want to, you know, we're in a fictional world. Like, I know Kansas exists, like the state of Kansas, but we're also in the DCU. Like, things change and you can style it how you want, but you still got to make it feel a bit authentic, and he's using authenticity from when he was younger and what he remembers and how he feels it should be done. So I think, once again, it's probably just an issue of people trying to complain for the sake of it. But there is a lot of pressure on it. So maybe it's people just thinking, hey, James Gunn's already got the pressure. We'll just target the guy that's already got the pressure around it. But also, this is such a minor detail. Like, I don't know how many people are going to be pointing at like the farmhouse and going, hold on, that's not right. That's not right. That's not how it should be. It should be this way. What the hell? Why is it this way from Missouri? Like, I think 0.01% of people will be complaining about that potentially, even that. So I don't think it's much to really get too fussed about. But moving on to some other stuff outside of Superman, James Gunn did confirm that Matt Reeves is still attached to direct the Batman Part 2. We almost did in a very like humorous, like, huh? Like, what the hell? Where's this even coming from? Why are you even asking? Now, of course, this movie was slated to begin filming by the end of the year. Robert Pattinson's in the Dune, like the third Dune movie, so there's still question as to whether that will even happen. But I don't know. This is one of those wait and sees. The only issue with this is that from what we can understand and what is most likely the case, the longer that the Batman Part 2 gets delayed and does not come out, the longer that pushes the Brave and the Bold film. And at the end of the day, I think the importance, especially for DC and DC Studios, is probably with the DCU. So if like the Batman Part 2 keeps getting delayed and that is a reason for why the Brave and the Bold can't happen, eventually going to have to like make a decision there. But they've still got a lot of slack and a lot of leeway and a lot of time to give. Like if this was like this time next year and the movie hadn't started filming, okay, then we can sort of panic and go, what the hell's happening, dude? But I think there's a bit of time to spare. So I don't think it's panic stations yet. And I think they'll get around to it pretty soon. I think at the very least. The second last thing to go over is about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And of course, we haven't had that many things for this film come out, but of course, this will be you'd have to think will be a highlight at San Diego Comic-Con if DC is to attend. We're still yet to like 100% confirm if they do attend, but you'd have to think they would, just because there's a lot of stuff going on. Like Peacemaker's like a week out or something at like the date that San Diego Comic-Con's on. It'd be weird not to go there and try and advertise Peacemaker, let alone some of the other stuff, which should be Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. And you'd assume that we'll get maybe the main highlight, maybe like because it is the film coming out, so maybe that will get like the main event, if you want to put it in regards to the DC Studios panel at Comic-Con. But they have wrapped filming, which is a good thing. No leaks really outside of like we saw the suit, but they were all positive. Like no one was complaining. Like that's the best thing. When you get like these leaks, even if it's minimal and no one's complaining, that's a good thing. And it didn't force them to do any early looks because they probably want to save that for Comic-Con, which makes a lot of sense. Save it for then. You can have all your plaudits. You can bring out Millie Alcock, you can bring out the directors, Jason Momoa, show Lobo. You can show the trailer or tease a trailer at the very least. You can do all that. And of course, that would be after Superman, where it's pretty much confirmed Millie Alcock's going to be in Superman as Supergirl. So it adds a lot of excitement. You can take that momentum over into Supergirl promotion because hopefully a lot of people go watch Superman, which in turn they see Supergirl. So fingers crossed at the very least that's how it works out. But yeah, I'd assume Comic-Con. I'd be very, very surprised if we got anything at least like specific to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow as a film before that. Like Supergirl, yes, because of Superman. But as for the specific film, I would be sort of surprised. Unless there's like another post-credit scene. That's the only thing I could think of. But I don't know. I don't know if that would put anything too narrative based or anything like that in the post-credit scene, especially for the first DC Studios film. But there's still a lot of speculation that there could be a very big surprise end credit scene or something for future things going on within this universe, but that's a wait and see. But speaking of Superman, that's the last thing to talk about it that we started off, or we started off. No, we did, I guess. We started off with Superman, I guess, with that fact that the trailer's coming out tomorrow from when this video comes out. But the last thing to talk about is this new look at Superman, which is from the Screen Rant exclusive preview. And it's just Crypto with Superman in the Fortress of Solitude with some of the workers there. I'd assume that this is in that like sneak peek scene we got where Crypto drags Superman there. Superman gets healed. This is him after he's healed. And maybe this is where Crypto's got up to no good. Maybe done some, maybe he did a bit of a poo. Maybe let's just be completely honest. Maybe he crapped in the Fortress of Solitude. What would Crypto's you need a big pooper scooper, I think, for that. I'm not too sure. At least maybe one that can hold a lot of weight. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Maybe it's something not really to think about too much. But I mean, this looks fine. I like the fact that it is a physical set. Like I'm not too sure if like any of it's green screen. I think there was like there's not a behind the scenes clip, I think, that actually 100% shows there's not parts of it that are green screen, but I think Gunn said like they built the entire thing, but that could still mean that maybe like the roof or the ceiling's got a bit of green screen going on, or there's little blots of green screen so they can do some certain visual effects. But this would have been a cool set to walk through. You can tell. I mean, the fact that you can look at it and tell it's physical, and I know people go, oh, well, it looks a bit fake, but I think that adds to the charm of it a bit. But yeah, it looks cool, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, tomorrow, Superman trailer. It'll be interesting to see what's contained in there. Obviously, the main thing is dialogue. It's an official trailer, so dialogue and actually hearing Superman, Lois, Jimmy Olsen, Lex Luthor, all of them speak, or Guy Gardner, all of them actually properly speak, is a big one to expect. But also some of the plot, because I think the teaser trailer gave you a feel of maybe the tone, but just how the film looks, and VFX stuff and everything like that, action sequences, which is always a good thing. But in this official trailer, you want like dialogue, character speaking, characters interacting, but also a feel of like, what's this movie actually about? So that's what we should be getting, and I think that's probably what we will get, but something to look forward to. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything we went over in this video. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.